What is going on, YouTube? Cleaning up my desktop. You are on the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. Extra beautiful hair today for some reason. I don't know why it turned out like that, but the waves just slay me. Just slay me. Anyways, what's going on, y'all? Happy Saturday. We have arrived at the good old-fashioned weekend. Really excited about it. I sure do enjoy starting my weekends an hour later. Now, sometimes I spend that hour sleeping in. Sometimes I don't. Today I did not. Today I got up and did stuff and kind of journaled and had coffee. This is my last cup. Still fantastic. Still fantastic. Just enough warmth to make it not gross. Charlie Mullins, our first subscriber, people. Shout out to Charlie. Much love. Jeremy Fowler, Rexican Restaurant. I love the new name change. Good stuff. The weekend is bound to be great, Jeremy. I can feel it in the air. I can feel it in my bones. Roberta, what's going on? Tommy Bird, good morning, boat. Lori A. Caffell, hello, hello. Rolling Stone, Ben, Bacon Bits. Did Kristen Melinda arrive stealthily? I have not seen her yet either. Becca Jean, Danielle McCoy, what's going on? Rick Smith. What is going on, folks? There's Kristen Melinda. Hey, at an appointment, but she'll be back on the replay. Replay crew! Good morning. I'm going to do the slow scroll here. We're waking up. Sahuaro Christmas, always a pleasure. Lisa Trimble. Heck yeah, I'm glad you made it. Saturday's the best day. I like Sunday too. Sunday and Saturday, they're the best. I'm trying to turn the page on Monday too. I'm trying to turn Monday into a great day as well, but we'll get there when we get there. Shelly, what's going on? Deidre Gore, my other's keeper. Welcome to the world of the wakeful, the waking, the woke. Whose surgery today? I don't know. But if there is some surgery today, let's put some ones up for them. Never a comfortable thing. Being a true ninja is a lost art. That's so funny you say that. I was just watching one of my favorite cartoons, and they were all impressed at the existence. All the characters were impressed at the actual existence of real ninjas. And then they were kind of disappointed when the real ninja showed up, and he was kind of goofy. Cochlear implants, or I'm way off. Well, yeah, let's get some ones up for the surgery. Well, heck yeah, guys. I hope that y'all's weekends are wonderful. I'm sure that mine will be excellent. But I will definitely keep you updated, obviously. I live for now. Good morning. Please hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a difference on the back end. Check out the Admiral this evening at... Wow, my eyes hurt. The light is super bright. Catch the Admiral this evening at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. I heard last night was a banger. I heard last night was great. I did not catch it yet. Usually I catch my dad's stuff on the replay crew. Hopefully that's still enough light on my face. I don't know if I can handle that brightness in my eyes today. I'm sorry, guys. It is what it is. It is what it is. Kevin Hawthorne from Lakeland, Florida, my brother. What's going on? Welcome in. Body Illusion. Looks like the whole crew's here, y'all. Looks like the whole crew is here. Well, I have to say, being a fat white old ninja is almost unheard of. It totally is. It totally is. It sounds like we're talking about the same cartoon for some reason. I guess that's what he was. He was a fat old goofy white ninja. Was that you in the cartoon, Tommy? Got a cosplay going on? Lighting is good. Flick Fox, what's going on? Good morning. Chow Yun Smut. Good morning. Just about to head to bed. Ooh, good night. But saw you were live and wanted to say hello. Well, I hope you catch some solid Z's, Chow Yun Smut. I know you're a night owl, so I guess this is good night. May sleep find you effortlessly. Shelly Kelly. Captain, I was looking at merch. I want a souvenir just in case. Any chance you'll be getting new merch soon? I'm glad you bring this up. There's so many things that I can do to improve our experience here. And you guys know how I have trouble making decisions. So it's like hard to decide what to put effort and energy into. I've been meaning to revisit the merch for a long time, and I would like to start that journey by asking you guys, what kind of merch do you want to see? Especially if I'm going to, spend time crafting, creating, putting everything together. I want to make sure it's something that you guys appreciate and something that you guys want, because it's for you. It's not for me, right? So that being said, please, in the comments, in the chat, in the email, sober@myyahoo.com, however you communicate with the lifeboat, with me, with the Admiral, let us know what you want to see for merch. And it can be more than just t-shirts and mugs. We can do backpacks. We can do hats. If you can think of it, we can probably do it. Some things are obviously going to be more complicated to fulfill, right? But the sky is the limit. I would like to shoot for the stars and land amongst land up there, right? So let me know. Let us know what you'd like to see, and I'll get cracking. I'll get crack-a-lacking on it. I had a conversation with my tech buddy last night about the website, getting the journal on there, getting the aforementioned long-awaited pet pics up as well. And the ball is in my court again. I need to get this Google Drive thing moving so that he can access the files. And that'll be done today. So that's good news. The journal should be available. And as soon as we have a sufficient discussion about merch and what it should and could be, there will be a bunch of new merch as well. And I'm looking forward to it. I had a lot of fun designing what we have now, and I've learned a ton since then. So we should be able to completely outdo ourselves, which I love doing. I love completely outdoing myself. I tell you what, Tommy Bird says, my kids find it quite comical when I break out the Chucks. I'm making a new pair studded with BBs. Super cool, dude. I don't know if I still have them, but I used to have a pair that I made out of PVC and just like rope and electrical tape. It was my practice pair. But now I don't know if they're laying around. I don't know if you've seen these, Tommy. But I have the fire chucks. Some of you have seen these, but got these big old Kevlar wicks on the end so that they can be on fire, which makes the weight of them completely different. Usually you kind of want to hold nunchucks on the end, right? With these, you got to hold it right next to the chain. Otherwise, they don't flow properly. Super interesting, if you ask me. I'm into kinetic stuff, I guess. Yeah. Movement and forces. Hit that like button, says Chow Yun Smut. Rona Cooley, I hope I didn't miss you. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Glad you made it. Love it, love it, love it. Blessed to Crochet in the house. Tommy Bird, I've always wanted to not get coffee in my mustache every time I drink. I've always wanted to learn how to craft whips. I have looked into it, and it seems like quite the process, but it's not like something that I can't do. It seems like something that anybody could really do if they just practiced. And I think that would be super cool. Because when buying whips, I buy whips knowing that I cannot maintain them, right? When they wear out, I'm going to require help to fix them. And maybe I'll bust one out. Let's talk about it. We'll do a deep dive this morning on whipcraft. Spontaneous inspiration. I hope that this is as interesting to you guys as it is to me. But I buy whips knowing that I'm not going to be able to maintain it. So we have the handle. I forget what this portion is called, this main portion, but it has a name. And then there's this, right? Let's get closer and not tear my whip up. This bit here, I also don't know what it's called. I haven't educated myself in a long time, but this transition here eventually will wear out. You can see there's like kind of Kevlar thread that has strung these two pieces together. And this is the next section. This part is about to wear out on my shorter whip. And that's why I don't crack it anymore, because I cannot replace it. I don't know how to fix it. And then this last piece is what you generally replace. This will wear out quickly. This is the cracker is what they call it. And it's just tied in here. I can fix this stuff. I believe this is called the saddle, actually, the second portion. But what they do is they will take whatever material. They can make whips out of leather, out of nylon, out of all sorts of stuff. Mine are made out of Kevlar so that they can be on fire, right? But whips have a core, and then they'll take, like, I guess a nylon would be a good example. They take nylon threads, really, really long, and they thread them together, and it gets the way a whip physically works, as far as physics are concerned. The surface area, the diameter of it continually shrinks, gets smaller and smaller and smaller, all the way down. So when you put force into it, that force comes out infinitely smaller, like it's the surface area is smaller where the force is applied, so it breaks the sound barrier. It's much stronger. The force that you apply on the thick base of it is expelled in this tiny, tiny little space, and that's why it breaks the sound barrier. I wish I knew more physics, but it's all about surface area and force. If you give someone the two fingers versus the full punch, or in martial arts, the palm strike is probably the widest, right? But this distribution of force is a wider area than this, and much wider than this. So the same amount of force applied in this surface area is infinitely stronger than either of these, right? And that's how the whip works. That sound is the whip breaking the sound barrier. It's a sonic boom that happens. And when that sucker's on fire, the sonic boom launches a fireball as big as my body. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. It's a mouthful. Scooby Lee, welcome in. What's going on? But I think that would be the coolest thing. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a core, right? And the core can be made out of different things. I've seen cores made out of BBs. I've seen cores made out of like just a thicker material. I've seen whips without cores. The smallest one I have doesn't have a core, and it's harder to crack because of it. It doesn't have like its own weight. It's very strange. I'm a big fan of the whips. I've stopped practicing though because they're dangerous, and my heart's not really in it right now. Maybe one day I'll revisit. As soon as I say the thingy, everybody totally knows what I'm talking about. Brazy girl, I don't know if I said hello to you this morning, Brazy, but good morning. Trish Ryan surgery is soon. She mentioned last night on the boat. Let's get some ones up for Trish. I know we already did, but now that we're all on the same page, let's put that intent towards the proper recipient. I'm glad you're better than last night, Scooby. I'm super glad you're doing better than last night. The sun rises on my mental. I can braid leather whips. I can braid leather butt whips, are like a 3D braid I can't pull off. Interesting. Well, maybe that's something that I have overlooked. I'm not the best braider, but it is definitely different. It's not like braiding your hair, you know? Chocolate cookie dough for my last meal. That does sound fire. Absolutely fire. Just leave the world on a sugar high. I'm down. I'm into it. Oh yeah, 100% pay for a mistake. And you know what's crazy? Even if it's not on fire, it will lacerate you. It will cut you. It'll take your eye out. You know, these things are mad dangerous. Imagine something breaking the sound barrier on your body. Super not good. Fighting with chocolate cookie dough. We'll give it the what for. Yeah, the sun rises. I'm doing pretty good today, Scoob. Yeah, Ben Bacon Bits comments are a little special sometimes. Require a couple reads. Well, Well, yeah. Let me know what you guys want in the merch store. What was something else I wanted to address today? So out of our, let me grab I keep getting up today. I wasn't very prepared, I guess. I wrote down some stuff I wanted to talk with you guys about. Many days ago. Here we go. So, we've kind of explored a couple different formats, a couple different like outside of the box boats, and I think they're all pretty good. But I also, since we're asking questions and opinions today, I'm gonna take it all the way there. I would like to know which of these you guys are into, which of them you're not, and maybe you're into all of them. Maybe it's all fine. But so we've done story time. Yeah, I think y'all enjoyed that. We've done interviews. We're going to do some more. I was talking with Jake last night about an interview, and we were trying to plan when we were going to do it. And we decided to wait because maybe we can just do it in person when I see him in Salt Lake. So that may be our next interview, maybe with Jacob. Info dumps and deep dives. This is something I think I've only done once, and I'm going to do it again. I don't know if I'll do it tonight, but I'm really, really excited to do this again. I'd like to do it on some music industry stuff, a little bit of Diddy, a little bit of Jay, some Master P, some Snoop Dogg. I want to tell the story of how Diddy got to where he is now, because he wasn't that way in the beginning. I'm not defending him, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying he wasn't born a freak. You know what I mean? Like he became that entity. I'd like to tell that story because it's very colorful and it's the story that nobody's telling. So the info dumps deep dive is another one of our outside of the box boats. And something we haven't done yet, but I'm really looking forward to and trying to rack my brain and figure out what would be a good fit. I want to do a multi-show project, like a part 1, part 2, part 3, like something we can explore and then explore further and then put a nightcap on it, on the 3rd episode or something, like a multi-show subject, multi-show project. I don't know. So out of those, are there any of those that y'all particularly enjoy? Out of all those, what's your favorite? And also, I wrote at the bottom of this, I'd like to cultivate a garden of subjects and topics, which I think is a lofty goal, but we can do it. Nicola E., what's going on? Welcome in. I actually have a ship in a bottle. You guys want to see that? Just going to stand up again, y'all. Please hold. I can't remember where I got this. I can't even see it. It looks like it's constructed in a way where they shoved it in there and then it like expanded. It like came alive or something. But also, if I look really close, I mean, they probably just melted the bottom back on after shoving it in, honestly. But yeah, pretty neat, right? I can't remember where I got that, but it's pretty friggin' neat. Stays in my bedroom. I am a big fan of the imagery for sure. In fact, that's one of my favorite parts about language, written language, is when it really gives me a sweet picture. Some people are really, really good at that just naturally. I think Izzy E has great imagery with her words. So does Tara. And I know I could say this about a lot of people, but those are the 2 people that came to my mind off top. So sorry, not sorry. We could also do conversations with the ripples. I've been thinking about that. That is another topic idea, right? We could do a little co-host. I think that would be fantastic. The ripples are much more practiced in doing that than I am. Not that I don't think that I'd be bad at it or anything, but y'all are doing that all the time, and I really haven't yet. So definitely a good idea. The info dumps sound interesting. Still stuck on merch ideas. There's a lot of ideas today, so maybe I should just kind of keep it tight instead. No pressure. We've got the rest of our lives, guys. There's no pressure at all. Just a day in the life, baby. Yeah, if I could take that sucker out and like paint it lifeboat, that would be sick. My ex just walked past and said, "New kink? Okay. Just your casual whip talk, lol." Lol. I actually have some of those whips, but they're not in use. They're not in use. Like looking into shadow work, understanding ADHD, etc. Here, I'm going to write all that down. ADHD is definitely something we need to explore. My opinion, my view on it, I think is unique. I also I think I've got it pretty bad. I was definitely diagnosed, and as far as I know, I can't remember the words my dad used. I'm pretty sure I was talking with my dad about it, and he said the doctor said he couldn't have it much worse than he does. Something along those lines. No sweat, Rolling Stone. Do your thing. I will give you the topics again. Give me just a minute. Yeah, shadow work for sure. That's definitely in my wheelhouse. I want to break into more spiritual stuff. It's hard for me to make that decision. I don't want to fundamentally change what the boat is about. That would be a huge mistake in my opinion. But I would like to talk about these other things that, in my opinion, have a great deal of bearing on recovery. I really have a great deal of bearing on living life, period. Like shadow work, the spiritual stuff is really, really powerful in my life. And just for those of you that aren't familiar, shadow work refers to the work we do. It refers to the internal work we do with our shadow. And our shadow is the reflection of our like negative traits, right? So my anger, my impatience, my vengeful spirit, right? These parts of myself I consider my shadow. And just because they're negative doesn't mean that they're bad. You can't do away with your shadow. You have to learn to work with your shadow and somehow get your shadow to work for you, rather than running the show recklessly when you lose control. Does that make sense? So shadow work is that is a multi-show topic right there. Sweet. Thank you very much for that. Flick Fox, you've got my back. I want to start growing veggies and stuff too, Tommy. When I end up doing that, I'll probably share it with you guys. Maybe that's what I can do. Maybe I can get some hanging plants in here that are like peppers and like fruiting vegetables. That would make me so happy. Maybe some spices, some herbs. Okay, yes, let's give the topics again. I believe they were story time, interviews, info dump / deep dive, and then on a side note, multi-show projects. That could be anything really. I'm sure that there's more. That's just what I had written down the day I was brainstorming. An old fella in the village showed me making one of those when I was little. What did they take the bottle apart, put the boat inside, and then put the bottle back together, or was it something different? Hoodies, understood. I really, really want this, Roberta, embossed the Lifeboat journals, just to let you guys know what the journey with the journals has been. That was the original idea, was to have physical copies. And we sent off, I believe Amazon was the first company we talked to. We talked to, I think, three separate companies, one after the other. And they kept giving us deadlines and then not responding and like not meeting their deadlines. And we were going to end up having to pay them a certain amount of money, either out of like, we were going to have to pay them to do this, right? and they weren't doing it. So we ended up getting sick and tired of that. After like talking to 3 different companies and peoples, we decided, well, why don't we just make it ourselves, distribute it ourselves, and then we can cut all that crap out and we can just get it done. And that came with some upsides and downsides. The upsides is it's done now. I can put it on the website for download, but you don't get that sweet physical journal in your hands, which I think is a loss. But there's ups and downs to it, right? And just because we've done it this way doesn't mean we can't have a physical journal in the future. I intend to do a new one every year. I would like to come up with new questions every year, especially like the days where we have those special onion peeling questions. I think there's a great opportunity to continue peeling the onion more and more and more. So I think that this is in the future, Roberta. It's just going to take a little while. Cookie dough defeated. Cleanup is my least favorite part. Thanks, Body Illusion. Yeah, sometimes I don't know what to do with all my ideas. There's so many of them, I can't act on them all. So I have to do something with them. I've started writing them down. I'm going to start sending them your way. We'll figure it out together. What's meant to happen will happen. I have no fear. I have all the faith. We're going to do our thing, and what happens is going to happen. Yeah, there's a twister. There's a tornado going on in my head at all times. And I shouldn't say at all times. I have learned ways to calm the storm, so to speak, Shelly. But I can totally relate with that. It's like listening to 5 radio stations at once. It's completely bonkers in my dome piece. I tell you what, completely bonkers. I agree. I live for now. I totally agree. Finding the ways to implement it without, and maybe I should worry less about pissing people off. I want everyone to have an opportunity, and that brings me to something that happened the other day. I had an interaction with someone on the boat the other day that had asked for the trophy, and I wanted to touch on that. I don't think that I handled that excellently. I don't think that I handled it terribly. But one of the things that I believe in 110% is that we need to meet people where they're at, especially like you never know where someone's at, but we do know they probably need our help if they're here, right? So the way that I responded to that individual, I don't think cultivated or provided a space for them to feel comfortable. At the same time, the response was weak. The response was whack. And but I mean, again, at the same time, back over on this side, I don't think that I handled it properly. So I wanted to address that. I think we need to meet people where they're at, and maybe people aren't in a good spot, and I can't be taking things personally. That's a mistake. So there's that admission. I have thought about this, Blessed to Crochet. Blessed to Crochet says another thing you can do is pick maybe a topic that your Ripple have done and do your own take on that topic. I like that a lot. And I think I have done this a little bit just without saying so. Yeah, I find these kinds of studies, Tommy Bird, absolutely intriguing. In fact, the book study that I do with my friends, we originally we didn't have a book picked out. There were some in the running, and one of the books that we had discussed reading was the Bible. And I think honestly, the main reason we chose not to do that is because a member of our squad didn't want to read a certain section of this book, and that makes complete sense to me. I had forgotten about that dynamic, so maybe we'll get in there at a later date. I really look forward to the opportunity to do a Bible study, which is a phrase and sentence I never thought I would hear myself say. Shelly says, never heard of shadow work. Interesting topic. I'm going to do what I can to bring a better explanation and maybe some examples of that, Shelly. I'm really excited to do the shadow work show. I tell you what, anger is a good example, says Ben Bacon Bits. Ben Bacon Bits. Anger is there to keep us alive. Granted, we aren't battling panthers and stuff, but now and then we actually need it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think all of our negative emotions serve a purpose, but they might be misused nowadays. I mean, back in the day, our adrenaline response, our fight or flight, was to keep us alive. These days, we have anxiety when things are weird in our heads, but there's no immediate enemy to fight or fly from. It's like the rent, it's all of these current world problems, but we're having this old world response. It's very interesting. Roberta says, I learned much about people from you and the Admiral, and I am 72. Just goes to show you always learn. I am an eternal student. And I think that's so beautiful that you have found that here. I'm probably way behind in the chat, but I'm having so much fun. I don't want to miss anything. Nicola likes the deep dives. The ship's sails were raised with fine wire once the boat was inside. That's freaking cool, because it does kind of look like that. It looks like it could fold up, go in, and then be like stood up like a tent. It totally looks like that, to me at least. I Live for Now likes deep dives as well. On the cover of my journal, I literally wrote the Lifeboat Journal. That brings a smile to my face, Rolling Stone. That's super cool. TKD for life. What's going on? Love bombing. Topic on surviving together today at 3 p.m. Eastern. I believe that is noon my time, if I'm not mistaken. Go over and show Taekwondo some love and support. I personally super duper enjoy her shows. You've been practicing manifesting lately. We'll see how it goes. The thing with manifesting is it's so interesting. I've had this work really well for me, and then I'll get complacent and like wonder why it's not working. And it's totally like a faith thing. It's like you know that feeling you get when you know something's going to happen. Like, I know this is going to happen. Like, I just trust. I don't need to wonder about it. Like, I know. That's the emotion that like is associated with manifestation. Like, I just trust this is real. This is already real. And then it is. And I'm not a master manifester or anything like that, but I have noticed this like little niche place that my mind and body and soul are in when it's working really well for me. And it's kind of also akin to a flow state. It's very, very interesting stuff. We could do something on flow state as well. That can apply. I get overwhelmed by my ideas daily, every single day. Flick Fox says, I have so many that could fill a few lifetimes, and sometimes I get stressed knowing I'll never be able to do it all. Well, you know, that's the beautiful thing. If you think about it, how many ideas have never been had before? How many ideas have been had and then seen to like their ultimate beautiful fruition? I think there's probably still unique ideas out there that have never been had before, but there's probably not a lot of them. And I think that most people don't get to see all of their ideas come to fruition. So really, we're just tapping in to like a global source kind of thing. We're tapping into each other's creativity, our ancestors' creativity. We're just tapping into human creativity. The ideas that you do get to fulfill are the ones that matter, right? The ones that you do get to express physically in the world. I think those are the ones that are the most important, because those are the ones we have power over and effect over, right? Yeah, I hate this. My other's keeper. I guess that's the wrong word to use, but maybe I can move it around. I don't know. We'll have to get together and talk about it. Davey has arrived. Fighting the dark is so me. Maybe we could get Davey on for a little co-host, talk about the dark, huh? Huh? Yeah, Brazy Girl, I appreciate that so much. But at the same time, like, do I need to respond that way? No. If I had taken like a half second more to ponder before responding, I probably would have responded differently. That's what we call a captain's reaction. And it could have been worse for sure. I really appreciate you, Brazy. You are the staunch defender of Captain Calhoun. We'll do the shadow work here soon. I'm really excited about it. So we can do part 1 here in the very near future. I'm not going to give it a date yet because I have to start putting it together to see how it's going to pan out. Davey, you're so popular. Everybody loves you. Look at this. We're so happy to see you. Absolutely, Taekwondo. My pleasure. Yeah, manifesting will be good. That one will be a little tricky because I don't want to sound like a kook, but maybe I just need to let go of that sentiment and go for it. Spiritual discussion can be done without God, says Lisa Trimble. Certainly, in my opinion, I wouldn't start with that. I believe in God, but not everyone does and may be uncomfortable. Totally. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. I recognize the importance of these topics, but I'm striving to find digestible ways to present them for everybody, And it totally can be done. It can totally be done. It just takes a level of tact and planning, I think, which I'm okay with. I can do that. I just can't be tactful and plan for like huge amounts of time. I have to choose my battles. Like, all right, I'm going to sharpen the knives and we're going to prep dinner right now. Because my brain eventually I can't focus like that anymore. I only have so much like focus power. I have to go relax after applying all of my mental power, which is weird. I've noticed that about myself. I do have the ability to do amazing things, but it's like I only have this much. It's like I have like a certain kind of fuel in my tank. And once I've expended it, I have to go relax. I have to go do something, and my brain is worthless. In fact, I think yesterday I used that energy to go run errands and do stuff because I was not feeling very energized for the evening show. I wonder if there's a correlation there. I wonder. Yeah, please do, Taekwondo. I would love to check it out. I was watching some speakers this morning. I'm just trying to pick up little tips and tricks. I say that. I don't think that I have applied any of the tips and tricks that I had noticed, but I did spend my morning watching a friend of mine do some speaking. Matrix Rabbit, what's going on? I am finally caught up on the chat, folks. I am eating enough protein, Davey. I'm not eating enough calories. I think I probably hit 3,000 yesterday, but that was probably the only day this week that I hit my goal. I've been getting really, really close. Ever since I got my teeth figured out, I have been getting really close, but the first couple days it was hard to chew stuff. I'm now like eating chili and tacos, and I'm eating regular food again, so it's a lot easier to hit my macro goals, but yesterday I think I came just a little under. Thanks for asking, Davey. I have this new protein powder that I'm crazy about. It's by the same company that does all my supplements. And it looks like a lifetime supply, but when I calculated out the servings, it was supposed to only last me 10 days. It's still here, so I don't know if I did my math wrong, if I'm not doing full doses. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm going to have to buy another tub here soon. Guys, supplementation is so expensive. If I want to use supplements to help me gain weight and get fit, it is hugely expensive. If I cut the supplements out and just do like putting calories in my body and just like it's harder that way because I can't drink 1,000 calories, right? But I don't know. It's just a difficult and expensive endeavor. Not once have I wondered if it's worth it, but I have wondered a few times how, like, where on the priority list that it stands. Right? What is it under and what is it above? The teeth are great, Matrix Rabbit. I feel fantastic this morning. I feel better than I have all week. The suture came out. I'm not in any pain at all. I took like half as much ibuprofen as I normally do this morning. I took 2 instead of 4. Yeah, send me all those calories, Body Illusion. I will happily accept them. Connie Wilson, good morning. What is going on? What's going on? Yeah, manifesting that money for the supplements. Absolutely, Taekwondo. We are on the same page. Baby, I have been drinking ice cream and I'm not gaining weight, so there's something going on there. The way I understand it, I have to hit my macro goals, which is I need a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of carbohydrates, and a certain amount of fat, right? But also I need a calorie surplus. Like my body burns this much calories a day or whatever with my activity. I need to have this many calories in my body so that once it burns everything, there's still calories left to add mass, right? And if I want to add muscle mass, I need to have a certain amount of protein. I need to hit like a threshold of grams of protein in the body. So I'm really good at hitting certain points of this equation, but hitting them all together proves difficult. But I'm trying to stack the deck in my favor. Believe me not. I mean, believe me, yes. Yeah, I feel great, Matrix Rapid. I really do. I feel friggin-tastic. And I've also been thinking about this. Instead of drinking ice cream, I could just make smoothies. I could put my melted ice cream into a blender, put some fruit in there, some things that are good for me, put some things that have macro breakdowns that are going to assist me in hitting my proper levels, right? There's a whole lot more that I can do on this front. There's always so much to do though, Connie Wilson knows exactly what I'm trying to do. The way my metabolism is, I really just need to eat stuff. I try to not think about the macros as much and just think about what is full of calories that I can just devour, Yesterday I had 2 giant bowls of chili. I used 2 cans of chili, some of my leftover meat, and a metric boatload of saltines and sharp cheddar cheese. And that almost put me to sleep. I ate so much of that. I think I ate like 1,500 calories worth of chili yesterday. Manifesting supplements. Thank you, I Live For Now. I appreciate you so much. I try not to snack, Davey, because snacks aren't going to get me there. They're just going to screw my macros up. I have to stop myself from buying snacks at the store. Sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I'll just get some like carrots and ranch or something. And then I'm like, I don't even want to get ranch. So then I'll think, well, maybe I'll get some like tortilla chips and a nice salsa. And then I'll buy the salsa that I bought just now and I'll hate it. And then I won't buy snacks for a while. And Nicola, one thing I'm painfully aware of right now is the lack of vegetables in my diet. I need to rectify that, and it will change my life. I know it. I know it'll change the way that I feel. It'll change the way that I do and be. Need to get some bell peppers, some lettuce, some tomato, some whatever, some onion, cheesecake. Oh my gosh. I'm not taking any uppers, Connie. I do not do any of that stuff. When I was a kid, they prescribed me Adderall and Ritalin and all the stuff. I was either 4 or 6 when I was diagnosed, and they started giving me the drugs. But that's where my very colorful relationship with pharmaceuticals, prescriptions, doctors, that's where all of that trauma started. I have a very, very hard time doing that kind of thing. But I also have to say my appetite has been affected largely by probably that, because I took ADHD medications from the time I was diagnosed until I was like 16, until I had the power to stop. And then when I was 18, I was homeless for 2 or 3 years, and I never had enough to eat. So the response that happens when you get hungry, your stomach tells you that you're hungry, that feeling. I learned to ignore and suppress that feeling over a long, long period of time of feeling that way perpetually. So now, not only do I have the world's fastest metabolism, I also um, my body doesn't tell me when it's time to eat anymore. So it sucks. It makes me really sad, actually, thinking about it. Dr. Crookston. I remembered his name. That was the first ADHD doctor I had, and he was a friggin' crook. I told my parents that. I must have been 6. I was pretty smart. I told him he was a crook, and they laughed. But that's just because his name was Crookston, and it was fucking funny. Pardon my language. Ugh, can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Carol Ann keeps a food diary. You know what? I'm going to start keeping a food diary. I've intended to keep a spending diary and a food diary for the longest time, and there's no excuse anymore. There is no excuse. I need to be doing these things. They're going to change my life for the better. Please hold. If I don't write things down, they don't happen. So, and spending diary. That's right. There you have it, folks. Making plans, making moves. Carol, I was drinking tubs of ice cream and barely gaining weight. I tell you what. If I can gain mental mastery over my stomach, I will gain weight. And I'm sure that it's attainable. I have to bend my stomach to my will. You know, evil laugh. Cue the evil laugh. I've got Smack Talk post-its everywhere as well, Davey, except they're digital. They're just on my desktop. I should put that on my list. I want to get some actual sticky notes so I can start putting them on the house physically. Nicola E says, I'm a responsible vegan in that I try eat such a variety. I cover all bases rather than relying on fake food. This is probably really, really good for your health. Inevitably, I find that a lot of, I tried to go vegan for a little while, and a lot of vegan foods are like not good for me because they're not real. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I haven't educated myself on this recently, so I might be using the wrong terms. But a lot of the vegan foods that I could find just weren't good for my body, weren't good for me. It was quite a difficulty to make that happen in a way that I felt good. So I think that's really cool, Nicola. Some of my best friends in the whole world are vegans. In fact, one of my real close friends one time looked me right in the eyes and said, "Milk is for babies." And I never forgot that. I drink a ton of milk these days, but she's of the opinion that milk is for babies. And I have to say, scientifically, historically, she's right. And you know, Nicola, I think that this will change as time goes on. Nicola says it's true. The market for vegan foods is lots of junk. I think this will change over time. It's still kind of a new thing, right? It's still not entirely respected, by groups of people. So I think as this proves to not be a fad, a trend, right? As it proves to be a health choice, the longer time goes on. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that it's not a health choice. I just think that it's not respected by a lot of people, right? I think as time goes on, the options will expand I think that a lot more people will create for vegans. You know what I mean? Matrix, I miss eating steak, I have to say. My teeth are not super, super happy about chewing steak these days. Brianna, I have a crock pot. Is that what you're talking about? I just put the super duper clean on it. So it's ready. It's ready for super soft stews and whatnot. I'm going to put some beef in there and some carrots, and I'm going to make some super fire stew. 40 years, it's not a trend. Well, I still feel like lots of people treat it that way. You know what I mean? Do you get that impression too, Matrix? And any other vegans we've gotten here? Do you feel like not respected for your dietary choices sometimes? Because I'm not even a vegan, and I feel like I witness these kinds of interactions where people just don't get it. You know, maybe they're not educated. Maybe whatever the case is. No, it's a pressure cooker. Well, I'm gonna have to get me one. Instapot, huh? That's right, that sucker down too. Guys, I am so sore. I woke up and I felt like my trapezius was just going to explode. I didn't even do any back workouts yesterday. I didn't work out at all yesterday. I just kind of relaxed. And I also was kind of rubbing myself down yesterday. So maybe I like unlocked some soreness and then did nothing with it because it is killing me today. I feel like someone just like whacked the crap out of my traps. Thanks for that suggestion, Brianna. I definitely like need ways to make stuff easy for me in the kitchen because I do enjoy cooking, but I don't like have the energy to do it a lot of times by the time it gets there. Connie Wilson says, if you ever find yourself in West Virginia, we have a spare bedroom for you, Spanky. We'll feed you the best barbecue and my famous split pea stew cooked with ham hocks. I can't wait, Connie. That sounds fantastic. I'm pretty sure I have some friends that have a family. I'm pretty sure my really, really good buddy has family in West Virginia. So that's not entirely unrealistic at all. Like I said, I want to do the world tour. I want to take this sucker on the road. So I look forward to the opportunity to meet y'all in person and check out that split piece too. Rubbed myself down. Totally. Absolutely. Sometimes I forget that I can kind of do my own massaging. It's just a drag. It's kind of like giving yourself a tattoo. You have to receive it and give it. It's like double the work. So massaging yourself is a drag, but you know, when you're hurting, it's a good thing to do. I see what you did there, Davey. Shame, shame. Everybody knows your name. I don't know if I've ever had split pea stew. Grandpa on my mom's side really, what was I going to say? He has a family soup recipe, super duper fire. It's not split pea stew. It's far from it. But when I think of like a super fire soup or a stew, I always think of my grandpa's stoop. I was going to say soup. Absolutely. I agree, Nicola. What's your opinion on Beyond Meat? I have some friends that swear by it, and I have some friends that say it tears their stomach up. And I believe Beyond Meat is made from beets, is it not? Isn't it made from beet protein or pea protein? I forget. I was educated once upon a time, and I've since let that knowledge go. Whip, you talking about earlier? Are you not caught up, Davey? Are you watching from the beginning? Because we totally spent about 15 minutes messing with whips. That's so funny, Matrix Rabbit. He says, I know a guy who tattooed his whole body by himself. He got pretty good at the end, but his first ones, terrible. I can imagine. Imagine getting and giving a tattoo simultaneously, dude. That's so wild. Ooh, excuse me. Wow. Doesn't that sound fantastic, Connie? Papa's banjo too. Wow. I love a good old-fashioned campfire. Yeah, did you cut yourself, Ben? I've done this. Why is everything doing that? Stop doing that. Okay. Lol. Lol. Well, since you were late, check it out. We were discussing the pieces of the whip, and I forgot what they're all called, but this is my 9.5-foot Kevlar fire whip. This right here is the part that will eventually wear out, and I don't know how to fix. It looks like this goes inside of this, or this goes inside of that, and then it's tied off. I don't know, but it's all braided. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. This one's just kind of looped through and knotted. Ooh, it's got my hair on it. And this part is what you replace most often. This one will wear out quickly because it's what takes the brunt of the force. This is where the sonic boom happens, right here. It's where we break the sound barrier, baby. Not today, I guess. I wonder if my mic would pick that up. It's kind of like a gunshot sound. I wonder. The other day I had my guitar hooked up and my little tiny amplifier pointing right at the microphone. The microphone was like almost touching it. It was so close, and it wouldn't activate the microphone. Certain frequencies and whatnot interact differently. So I wonder if I had cracked that properly, if y'all would have been able to hear it. Well, this one's made out of Kevlar. I would have to find like a special whip guy. Aaron F has the most legendary Ninja cooker. Works as an air fryer, instant pot, and slow cooker. Nice to have just one thing to do it all. I hear the air fryer is like the next level of cooking. I might have to get one. I have a smaller one, Davey, as well, that I've used a lot more. I find it less dangerous. It doesn't have a core, so it's not as like hefty, and it's also only 5.5 feet. But still, like fully extended, like with my arm, it's like a 15-foot range, right? Wait, yeah, something like that. Pretty damn close to 15 feet from where I'm standing. So to like use the fire whip in conjunction with other toys, like as a part of like a piece or a choreography, is really difficult. I have used it to light someone else's prop. Like I'll do the fireball, and they'll like kind of stick their thing into my fireball to light up. Also super scary, dangerous, and tricky, but we have done it. It's pretty neat. Pretty cool trick. How tall are you, Davey? My 5.5 foot? I mean, the 9.5 footer is definitely taller than you. You must be talking, you're shorter than 5'5"? No way. No way. Great things come in small packages sometimes. Yo, they make some huge whips, Matrix. They make 20-footers. They make some crazy whips. There was a time when I was like really like deep diving into the whips. I was really into it. There's all kinds of different tricks and cracks you can do. I can do a couple. I can do like 2 or 3 tops. The biggest thing for me was I didn't want to spend the time practicing and wearing out the material just to have to replace it. like with money, because I don't know how to replace it with know-how. I'm going to have to buy new pieces, and eventually the whip itself won't work unless I fix it or replace it, right? So that's what stopped me from getting pro with the whip, is my wallet and a lack of knowledge. So one day I'll fix those problems and I will be the whipster. I can't wait one day. 5'4" Hyundai B. I think that's a good size. Jacques the Whipper. Jacques the Whipper. Yes, ma'am. I accept this. Connie Wilson, I accept. Have a great day, Carol Ann. We're about to wrap this up anyways. I just have so much fun. Sometimes it's hard for me to get out of here. Zen Wen. What's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in. You've probably been here for a hot minute, and I just get lost sometimes. Good to see you, Zen. All right, guys, I think it's time I put some food in the tank. I skipped that this morning, so I'm going to get into it. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications. If you like what we do here, it certainly makes a difference for us. Catch the Admiral this evening at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Catch Taekwondo for Life at 3 p.m. Eastern today. That may be, I believe that's noon Pacific time. But catch Taekwondo for Life at 3 p.m. Eastern this evening for, I forget what it was about. Gosh darn it. If Taekwondo is still here, please plug your topic. But yeah, support our excuse me. Support our ripples. Support the Admiral. Thank you for supporting us. We love you. You guys make this thing happen. You guys make this boat float. Pajama Pixie. I hate for them to come to an end too, but they got to. They have to. We'll be back in no time. I'll be back this evening. I don't know what we're going to be doing tonight, but it's going to be great. We're going to do something sweet. And I think it's going to be less serious today. It's Saturday. Let's live it up, right? We have to have fun in sobriety and recovery as well. Otherwise, what's the point? Show each other love. Show yourself some love and some care.